anybody's time. Ridiculous. Not to say you can't get good on a controller and playing a mid tier. You can, but it's a lot harder.
There's like no point. Like you
Yeah,
could
that's the
do
big
like you can
difference.
SDI out of things easier. You can like
Yeah, if you've never played Smash before and you have the option of choosing between one or the other, I think it's a no-brainer right now.
what's up, Jackie Joe in the back? Look at her. What's she looking at? Can she even see out there?
Yeah, she can see.
Look
Yeah,
at
I
her.
wish I could go unlearn my 10 years of muscle memory on the GameCube controller and pick up the box.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Like, even when I go, like, because I'll play a lot of Melee and I'll play a lot of Ultimate while at work. And so, like, even going between the two games, it's like, man, I wish I could remove my one of these from my brain so I could be like twice as good at the other one. But that's not how it works. So
It's just get to use our regular controllers. I mean, even Pikachu gets buffed on the box because you can do like
Pikachu
double
gets
up.
hella buffed on the box.
Instead, I'm trying to do quick attack and somehow quick attack left on the wrong thing. It sucks.
Pikachu on the box is a different character.
It really is. And then freaking what's his name? Shiny Mark uses Pro Controller, which is even crazier because you can't do your quick attack angles as good. Per se.
He probably has a gated. He probably has it
Yeah.
notched.
You have to.
He
Which
Sam
is
picked
like-
up
it's
the box
really-
and
it's
was
really
never the
cheap,
same,
so.
so maybe it's not better.
That is true. Esam is not, but Esam also is in like a character crisis. I don't think he believes in Pikachu, but he knows it's his entire brand. So if he doesn't, people are going to blast him. That's why he's going me brawler and trying to cheese everybody. Procon Fob is actually really good.
If you want to cheese people, then that's. the
Incineroar
character
is the
that you
character
should
to go.
do. I mean, Incineroar. I don't know. I don't know. We disagree, but you know, is what it is.
You know what? We'll talk about that in a second.
Do
All right.
I think Brawler's cheesier than Incineroar. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, we will talk about this today. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Want to welcome you guys to the first ever Kayo Show, as shown with my incredible logo that probably won't be there next week. But really, the whole purpose today, we had like 10 minutes for people to get in here. My chat's showing 10. Tell your friends. But basically, we're gonna come in. We're gonna talk. You guys go ask questions. We got some things we're gonna go over and kind of talk about, and then from there, once you have questions, we'll answer them if they're appropriate. And no memers, you know who you are. You know who you are. And then we'll go from there. Terrible name. Okay, fair enough.
We
That is
couldn't
actually
think
what.
of a better. Actually, Grayson and I told him to pick the name because we couldn't think of a better one. So.
Hey, open to suggestions, Invader.
You-
If you got a better one.
Hey-o, KO. That's actually not too bad to start.
Oh yeah, that should be like the opening line. Yeah, I like that.
But we'll go ahead and get introductions. I'm KOB. Most people just call me Chuck. I'll answer to either. But clearly, this is my show, quote, quote, as the other two in chat say. But go ahead if you guys want to go introduce yourself.
You want to go first, or you want me? I'll go first. I'll go first. Hey everybody, my name is Noah Flint. You can find me on Twitter or on Discord as Noah Has Diabetes. I do stuff for West Texas Smash because I enjoy helping you guys out. I'm in esports professionally. I work at the University of Texas at Arlington as their varsity esports director. We have one of the best Smash teams in the whole country, and so I've got a lot to say, a lot of trash to talk. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
Congrats on
KOBs.
the team, by the way. I heard UTA did good this week, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, they did, you know, yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, my name's Grayson, or the G. I've been around West Texas for a long time. I have been #1 in Lubbock before, back in my heyday. Competed at Lubbock for about 4 years. Fluctuated between 1, 2, and 3. Usually 2 and 3 because Sergio was usually 1, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Chuck
That's
was
good.
also there. It was me, Chuck, and Sergio. Been around West Texas, been around the competitive scene for a long time, about 10 years. I played most of these people who are still in Lubbock. I've played almost everybody on the list I looked at earlier. So I have a pretty good idea of who's where and my opinions at least. And if you're an old head, you definitely know me. I kind of gate-kept the new people now, like Shigara and Nationwide and Chino. All those people were kind of the next wave after me. So We're excited to talk about some Smash, talk about our opinions, talk about some tournaments, talk about PR, all that kind of stuff. But
We're definitely going to be talking about some
Okay.
tournaments today.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's the G. Yeah, this is not the Rob. He plays Diddy Kong and Wario. If you guys have seen any of our combo videos, which we have 4, is it 4?
How many
Oh,
do you
yeah.
need? How many do you need? You know?
Well, when you guys many team combos as us, you gotta get a lot. All right.
One more finale.
Yeah, we need one more for the finale, but
Hey, well, I've heard Chuck's retired, so...
yeah. Well, hey, I can still play some online dubs. We actually been low key crushing it.
I thought you sold your copy. What's up with that?
I was gonna,
Uh-huh.
but no one offered me well enough.
Oh, okay.
I think one person was like $40. I was like, no. Well, I got the-
That's so good. What are you
what do you mean? The
talking
game's
about?
still $60.
Yeah, if you want to go buy a pack fresh off GameStop shelves.
Chuck will never quit. He always he gets in his feelings.
All right, let me turn them up. Thanks, guys. We'll take a few things. I also didn't introduce more about me. You guys, a lot of you guys know me if you're in chat. Rare streamer, but it's going to be more consistent now. We're going to do these on Sundays at 8 o'clock. I've played Smash. I helped run Lubbock. I actually helped create West Texas Smash, and as well as Lubbock. I've been around the block for a long time, TO'd for a long time, was one of the better players in Lubbock for a long time, and I think at one point I was number 5 in West Texas in Smash 4, but we kind of moved me down to P's one dude that we won't go into. If you're old, you know. And outside of that, I watch, I play, and we kind of go from there. In this, if you guys have any suggestions throughout, we'll try to fix as we go. Clearly, this is the first time I've ever done a podcast, so it does kind of change things a little bit. Hold on, let me move this over so I can look at both. So if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to put them in chat or have any suggestions, like in terms of the volume, everything like that. But was I the best? Lubbock. There was like 2 seasons where I was, but it was early, so it really didn't matter. Will we do clip reviews? I don't know. We'll answer that at the end. Okay, so we're going to... More of the preface of the show. We are going to talk about many different things today. We are also very... I don't want to say we're going to sugarcoat things, but we're also going to... or not sugarcoat things, but we're going to tell the truth. That's one of my mottos, and these two as well. This is why they're on the show. So if you hear things today, we're hopefully going to be constructive. Sometimes it might just be like, hey, this wasn't very good. And if you hear things like that, that doesn't mean that we hate you. It's just we're going to give honest feedback. You guys want to include anything on that?
Yeah, I would like to add some of you we might actually hate, but that will not influence our opinion of what we say. Steph, looking at you. I'm not going to forget about what you did. So that's all I've got to add.
That is true. I'll never forget that.
I've never been one or known as one that cares about people's feelings or emotions, so I'm gonna tell it how it is. And a lot of people who know me well come to love that about me. That hey, he's a straight shooter, and I give my honest feedback, especially Chuck when I watch his gameplay. I'm like, hey, you were either trash that tournament or you played amazing that tournament, and I tell him how it really is.
Mid-game, too. So we'll be playing doubles, and, like, let's say I SD twice. Y'all know me. I play Pikachu, right? He'll go, hey, dude, my back hurts. I'm tired of you being bad. And then I get mad. I'm like, I don't suck. And then I go crazy. And he's like, see, it works. Don't suggest anybody else doing that. When Steph does it, pisses me off, and then I get mad. And then he hits me with mid-min, and I quit. So,
It's a fine line.
all right.
Fine line.
It's Min-Min just... I hate that character. All right. So we'll go ahead and get into it. It's mostly going to be a West Texas-centered podcast. We're going to sometimes veer off. We're going to just talk, really, because we all like Smash. It's going to be about an hour-ish. We'll go from there. So, the first thing we're going to talk about, boom, is Battle Bowl. All right, there's a lot of not necessarily great things that
I would say
heard.
controversies. You know, there's some controversies I've heard thrown about in regards to the event.
Exactly, and it was shaped up to be one of the biggest events. Midessa in the summer was really awesome. A lot of people went. I mean, you guys went in terms of UTA. We had players from all over the state really come. It was really awesome. This one's a lot bigger. MK1 is apparently still in progress.
No, they have a different Mortal Kombat bracket. Separate from that one. No, they didn't use that one because they have a different one where they have like, I don't know if it's seated differently but it says it has in like brackets. It says fixed. I don't know what that means, but that's why that one is in progress. It's not real.
All right.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes in. I mean, I guess I'll start off with this. So the tournament was Saturday.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a 3-day tournament. Doubles was on Friday. No one went. One team signed up. Can't even find out who signed up. Why they're in 2 different days, I don't know. But in reality, you can't really do that, especially if your event is not necessarily as big yet, right? The goal for this tournament is for it to be very large. But at this point, it's your first one. You're in Midland. Can't really do that, so they kind of wasted a whole time slot for that.
Yeah.
They started Saturday for singles. The thing is, they did not seed the bracket until Saturday. That's an issue, right? If you guys want to kind of elaborate on
Well,
that.
I just, I'm a long-time tournament organizer. I think if anybody from West Texas knows me as anything, it's probably as a TO, as a player. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not as accomplished as you two. Like, top 5 in Abilene, who cares? Like, that's...
True.
No one cares about that. So, most people know me as a TO. I've ran plenty of events. I'm in the triple digits at this point of events ran. And I cannot imagine not having my event pre-seeded if I'm trying to scale the event to the size that they're trying to accomplish. Like,
Yep.
the amount of preparation, like, because what you're planning for is to pull players from like out of region, pull players from potentially out of state. You're trying to reach beyond that West Texas barrier, and so you want people to be able to prep for like what their bracket's going to look like. But without any seeding, like, it's not possible. Thankfully, somebody stepped in and did seed the bracket. So shout out to Scotty, who did a very good job.
Shout out to Scotty.
Not just with the seeding, but from what I understand, with a lot of other aspects of the events as well. So huge shout outs to them. But I mean, like, I've always been of the opinion that seeding is like maybe the most important thing about a tournament. Like, if there's one universal thing that every competitor is going to complain about, it's going to be the seating. It's not going to be whether the venue's too hot or too cold. It's not going to be whether like the chairs were comfortable enough, or like the setups, did they have volume, did they not have volume, etc. If the seating is bad, everybody's complaining. And so, luckily, like I said, it ended up not being bad. But from what I understand in the past, is like they've ran full events unseated with was it, the first Element 14 event. I know that was what one of the big things Cannons was complaining about, is there's no seating, and so the whole thing was just an absolute mess. And it feels like to me, like, obviously I don't know the tournament organizers personally, but maybe not learning as much from your mistakes as you maybe have needed to in order to have this be as successful as you want it to be. But that's just kind of where I'm at on it. So, like, when I see an event, especially a West Texas event, with like this basic of an error, I start to wonder. It's like, well, what else is going wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Grayson, you can kind of attest to this. Like, if you go into a tournament, like, you're traveling and you're 5 hours away, right? And you don't know who you're playing at all throughout the entire bracket, like, how would you feel?
Yeah, Noah kind of hit on it, but more from a competitor standpoint, I think it would deter me a lot from even going to the event. If it's not even seeded till the day of, you don't know who's in the bracket, you don't know who you're going to fight against. As a competitor and as somebody who tries to win in every bracket I enter, when I enter, I play to win. And I'm going in there just completely blind. I can't prepare matchups. As someone who plays multiple characters like I do, I have certain characters for certain matchups. It'd be, if, like he said, it would tell me that it's not very organized. The event's not organized. They had no idea how many to expect. They pulled nobody from out of region. They pulled nobody other than the West Texas people. So it would be very discouraging from the outside looking in to go to. Like me and you, who plan to go to these tournaments that are 5 hours away, we plan these stuff all the time. We would probably talk to each other privately, like, you know what, this is not the one. Let's just sit this one out. It's not worth my 5 hours, my entry fee. It's not worth all that to go to. And I'm sure a lot of players around Texas felt that same way.
I
believe Mutace, right, was meant to go to that event?
Yes. So Mutace was planning on going, Atomic was planning on going, Beastly was planning on going, which are, three of the top 5 players in the state. But all eventually dropped out, partially due to it being so low attendance.
Yeah.
Because it was a rolling pot bonus, which means the more people that signed up, the bigger the pot bonus got, which is great. You know, you want your pot bonus to get bigger and bigger. But the numbers never really caught up to where you can make it financially worth it for like you said, it's a 4-day event.
Yeah.
Like a
you
super
just-
major.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way that you're spending.
Because I think it
four-
was
four
expensive
nights
too,
of-
right? Wasn't like $40 to enter?
I don't remember the exact cost of entry, but I do know that if you have to pay a pretty decent entry fee on top of 4 nights of hotel, on top of 8 meals, like you're and gas, like it's a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive, like even if like you're Mutace and you're getting first place, like is the effort worth making $100 maybe at the end of the day once everything's said and done? It's like probably not. And so like I think a lot of consolidating needs to happen. I understand like it's Smash is at the event. It is not a Smash event. It was running Warhammer, it was running Magic the Gathering, it was running COD.
Mario Kart. Yep.
COD very contentiously.
We'll
a lot of these other games, which I'm glad they have a place, but if you are trying to, provide the best experience possible to all your competitors, then you can't.
You don't need to stretch yourself too thin.
Yes.
I think is part of the issue.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They try to run.
Yeah, too many
so
eggs, not enough basket, and like at the end of the day, it's like to pull off an event of that scale with that many different avenues of competitions, like you have to have a really stacked team. Like your team has to be really good, not only at tournament organizing, but also being like really knowledgeable of what people within those different communities are looking for.
Yeah.
And
that's the biggest thing for me. Like if I go to a tournament and like not bashing Sunday school, but I'm going to just say like I had to find a GameCube adapter for like 3 sets, and that to me sucks. Like I just read in chat from someone who was there that stream setup didn't have audio. Every setup, if you're going to have a stream setup, because not every setup's going to have audio. You can't do that, especially when you're like, I'm not saying low budget, but like a regional, right? You're not going to be able to do it. Stream setup needs audio no matter what. And what was the other thing he said? Oh, and no GameCube adapter. First party GameCube adapter. That's 2 minimums you have to have.
Especially now. It's becoming more and more important to have first party adapters as more and more people competing are starting to have fobs. I myself have a fob. I don't have a first party adapter. The amount of times that my controller disconnects in the middle of games, it's a little silly. So I can't imagine like having a frustrating experience as a competitor if that happens to me in a game. So definitely first party setup on the stream setup. What I notice, like a lot of my guys, what they'll do is they'll just bring their own adapter, which I definitely think if you have a fob, you need to start doing, like bring your own adapter if it's something that you're going to worry about. So definitely you should have adapters at every station. First party on stream setup for sure.
Me and Chuck have a horror story of not having audio at a stream setup that was streamed. Was it France or something? But
ours was Spain.
It was a Spanish stream. No audio against a Snake player. It's Snake player that everybody knows. But
yeah,
it was Kronos.
Yeah, against Kronos, and it was a very, very close set. And fighting Snake with no audio is impossible.
We could not see the C4 either because like the light. I mean, it's a stream setup, so the lights are bright. Yeah. But they're like right directly on us. I'm not even joking. It was like this. Yeah. I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, do you guys have any headphones? And they go, yeah. And they gave me their iPhone headphones. I was like,
But I don't think you sound like a hater, Trey. I think you're bringing up a lot of really good points. And these are just stuff that you should expect as a competitor. There's like the minimum. You're just asking for the minimum to when you go to pay $40, $50 for a tournament. Yeah. The stream should have audio. The stream setup for sure.
I think all stream setups in 2023 need to have audio splitter with headphones provided. Probably with 2 monitors as well. I mean, I understand like not everybody like that's a lot of equipment to go through, but like I said, if you're trying to provide the best experience possible, like if you're going to be spending all the money anyway, like these aren't big asks. I feel like I guess is like where I'm at, but like we did it at ACU like for no
Yeah.
budget, like zero budget. We were able to pull it off. So,
And part of it's like if you're not in the community, sometimes you don't know what is
Yeah.
needed. And it's like you said, Trey, you still had fun, right? But I tuned in. I was at a football game for majority of the day. Go Tech, Reclam, we won. Looked bad at first, but whatever. But I tuned into the stream later, and then I look, and audio's not even synced, right? And then I try to watch a match, and then the next match took like 10 minutes for it to come back up. And I get you have your ad revenue time, and you promise your people a certain amount of minutes on the screen, right? But maybe you need to rearrange that contract because if I'm watching the tournament, and I know there's the next match coming up, and it takes 10 minutes for us to go. We're not switching commentators. We're just running ads for 10 minutes. Guess who's not going to watch? I tuned back in. It was Game 5 on the next set.
yeah.
That's a problem. So you got to kind of like pick and choose. I mean, it's for a good cause. It's for Red Cross. A lot of the money did go to that, which is awesome, doing donations and stuff like that. But like, you still got to make sure your event is run very well. And something we'll go into in a second in regards to what happened in bracket. But when you travel for an event, especially like West Texas, like every tournament we have to travel to, because there's so many tournaments, which is something we'll talk about probably next week or something like that, it's why should I go? Right? I'm spending $50. I got to stay the night, and then I go to the tournament, and I know there's not sound. I know there's not GameCube adapters. And granted, I know GameCube adapters are hard. I think you really got to have an official one, or Mayflash is better. Don't ever get the Nyko ones. I'm not plugging my controller into that.
I think anything
Because-
other than Mayflash, like Mayflash, your first party, like first party's preferred. Mayflash is your runner-up. Anything else is like you should, or well, I guess there's a lossless adapter. The lossless adapter is very good. More rare than first-party adapters. So
Nyko is an absolute no-go because that can actually break your controller.
breaks your controller, yeah.
And if that happens, I guess there's nothing in there,
There
but
was
you have
Nyko
to.
there.
I'd cry. I'm serious. Every time I plug it in, you pray as you pull it out.
Yeah, you
please,
pray.
please. And you gotta be so careful. You yank it, it's gone.
Oh yeah.
But overall, I mean, the tournament ended up being good in regards to the bracket itself. Like
and
we're
the
looking
competition was good.
here. Yeah, it was like this was a prime, and I would
West
say
Texas
like
event.
old school West Texas event. Like everybody was there except for Rel,
Wow.
of like importance, right? But kind of going back into seating, another thing, like you don't have to seat it perfectly, right? Or at first. Okay, I'll make sure I corrected that. Because your tournament's Saturday and you accepted in-person signups. But guess what you can do? You can pre-seed. So majority of it and people who are wanting to cover the event can at least see the bracket. Okay, oh, you know what? This is some potential matchups we might see. These are the top hitters that are coming. And it's not hard to pre-seed. You know Spritzy's there. Guess who's probably going to be number 1 seed unless the top player's there? Spritzy. Okay, Vibe, Nationwide. Like, you can pre-seed it. And then when you're actually going in day of, small parts are changing, and it's probably not going to matter in the end because most people signing up day of aren't usually the best. So that's kind of like the criticism I have, but we'll go into the tournament itself, talk about some upsets and everything like that. Going into it first, there were some DQs. Karate Hottie didn't go. I think Shakol didn't go. He would have probably made some noise in the tournament.
I think Karate Hottie was at Mav Mayhem. I might be making that up, but I think he was here, like in DFW.
He decided to skip out.
Yeah, I think so. Because I was playing doubles with some of my guys beforehand, and Navy goes, "Wait, Karate Hottie showed up or signed up?" And I was like, "How do you know Karate Hottie?" He's like, "Man, the legend." I was like, "Okay."
I'd have loved to see him here because he is either like really, really good.
Yeah.
Or kind of just like middle of the pack. And sometimes when he's playing really good, it's so hard to stop.
I mean, that's kind of Fox though, too. In a lot
That's
of
what I was
ways.
going to say. That's the Fox life. Fox gets going, heating up. That character is a menace.
That character's so good. When you get hit by him and you're in the vortex, there's nothing more demoralizing than like being in a Diddy vortex. Because Diddy vortex, you're just like, God, them
I'd
feet
rather
be
be
hurt.
in a Diddy Vortex than a Steve Vortex. So.
True! That character should be banned!
I've been
But
playing a ton of Fox lately. That character feels broken.
he's so
The
good.
character is broken, but not in the same ways that the actually broken characters are.
Yeah, the overtuned
fact-
characters.
The overtuned character can kill Fox in one jab. Means,
Yeah,
but we're looking into it.
Changes things.
Spritzy, not really running into any problems almost throughout the whole tournament. Nationwide, also not running into any problems. You look at there was one set Trey. Trey beat G-Dog, and G-Dog was one of the players I thought was top 10
I was
West
gonna
Texas.
say. I was gonna say that was probably like my biggest, quote unquote upset of the event was Trey over G-Dog. G-Dog, a player, historically very, very good in El Paso, plays a very good character in Game & Watch.
Yep.
And so Trey's ability to pull that out has been, I think it's pretty impressive.
He's been very good lately.
Yes.
Very good. And with Link. I'm a believer in Link, by the way. No one else is. I'm a believer.
I think as the meta has like shifted, it's become better and better for Link. I think Link has a lot of options against these campier matchups that a lot of characters don't necessarily have. Like Link's ability to blow you up while also playing like really solid defense is just so strong. And like Trey as a player, he's very patient. Like he has the mental ability to play that play style at a very good level. And so like the stars are aligning, like it looks good for Trey. And so I think that's why you're seeing him in such a good spot. And like his performance continues to improve. But also like being in the environment that he's in, like he's in a competitive environment all week. Yep. He's on LCU's Smash team, which is performing really well. They have what I would I don't know if I would call it an upset over UTD, but it's at the very least it's very close to an upset. So you know,
they got some players on that team.
Well, they got one player on that team.
I say they might be getting better soon too. We won't go too deep, but hearing some rumblings. But another one that I thought was quite interesting was Vibe and Guru going game 3.
You know, Guru has been not
consistent. Like straight consistent. You know every time you play him, if you're not going to take him serious, you might get beat. You know, like I play Pikachu into Wolf in that matchup, and he is one of the players that I know I never want to fight because I know exactly what I'm going to get. And
it's hard.
If he's feeling himself, you might lose. Very big Wolf Flash player. I'd be interested to see who Vibe went in this matchup if he's still in chat. Because I know he likes to mess around. He's at that age where sometimes he's just like, I can mess around.
When you're better, you can do that. But one thing I'll say about Guru too is Guru did a lot of traveling with Architect when doing 40 trips a week to all these West Texas events, and so like that type of experience goes a long way, not just for your matchup spread, but like the level of like the caliber of player that you're playing against on a consistent level goes up, and when that happens, like you either have to get better or like you're gonna lose. You know? So it's like
Wolf is also such a consistent character. It lends to his playstyle well. You know, when he enters, he's gonna be about the same level. I think he's probably been around 5 or 6 in Lubbock for like 10 years. He is the staple of Lubbock scene.
The gatekeeper.
Yep. If you are above Guru, then you're probably fighting for that top 4 spot. If you're below Guru, you're really trying to beat him. He's kind of
in a lot of ways, he kind of reminds me. He has a similar position in Lubbock that like Atsi had in Abilene for a very long time. I think Atsi's better. Like I think Atsi's level of improvement, like in the last 6 months to a year, has been like exponential. I don't know where it came from, but
me either.
Suddenly he's like beating all these players he's never beaten before. We haven't seen Guru do that yet, but historically they've played kind of the same role where it's like, you want to be worth talking about in my city, you're going to have to go through me first.
Exactly. And I know he's on that grind. He does ask me quite often to play, and since I don't play as much, I don't play him. That's not a slight against you, Roy. I swear. Another person I kind of want to talk about is the Shadowcat. I have no idea who this is.
I believe they're a Amarillo player. When I looked at them, because I saw this because they finished really well, like they placed well, and so I was like, who? Oh, wasn't that MTM? Why is Shadowcat MTM?
Wait, what?
That makes way more sense.
That makes so much more sense now.
Did he change his tag?
I think there were people playing
Nanigans is Josh
tags. But then wait, if Nanigans is Josh, then who's Nanigans?
Okay. Listen very carefully. Don't ever do that. Ever. That messes up, in my opinion, the integrity of the tournament. Because you can't even mentally prepare for that set. If I go up, I think it's actually illegal.
I see. Okay, so Josh couldn't enter. Nanigans couldn't go. So Nanigans is Josh. Okay, I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
But just change the name. You have the power.
That's really
They-
bad. For anyone looking back at the bracket, that's really, really bad.
Like, I'm looking at this Shadowcat guy thinking this is
Who's
somebody
this
really
guy?
sick.
Yeah, I was like, man, this hidden boss from Amarillo. Yeah.
That's annoying. All right. Well, continuing on, Ronan Rose.
Actually,
if you guys,
I think it's worth talking about, like taking a game and the two like back matchups. That's worth talking about. I feel like.
yeah, and Spritzy talked about it in the interview after the tournament. It was like he survived like 2 KO punches. You could
Yeah.
apparently see on stream of him like, oh my god,
Yeah.
or something like that. So Mac's one of those characters you cannot mess around. Trust me, I played against Mac a ton.
So
and
Shadowcat was supposed to play, couldn't play, and MTM got Shadowcat's spot.
Pre-register.
Just change the name.
It's not hard, but nationwide, doing top 8, 3-0 in Gelada is pretty big,
Yeah, that's actually probably.
significant.
I don't think going into it, people would have predicted that.
Not 3-0 at least.
I would have because I'm a nationwide believer. Personally,
I'm a believer.
So I would have
would've
said
too.
so.
I've
And
played
I think-
Nationwide a lot recently, and
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't know is that in that matchup specifically is Nationwide actually has a pretty solid Rob. I think he was poised to take that character apart with the characters he plays.
Yeah.
Because his Rob is not that bad at all. I've played it a lot, so I think he was
Yeah.
ready for that matchup, and I think he's just also a slightly better player too. So
Yeah.
that's why you saw the 3-0.
Yeah, and plus, Lubbock does have their Rob player now. Everybody
We do.
needs one. Shout out to Worm Hero, having a pretty good run himself in this event. So.
And ending my tournament career in Smash Ultimate. But continue on, Seba, always good. Ronan Rose, a lot of people don't know who that is. I think now everybody does. Constantly winning in the West Texas matchmaking. Very good player. I knew this player is crazy.
Very good. I
And-
played him the other day. He's crazy good.
Is so good with Bale, and has been playing Bale for a very long time. What's up, Deani? So, Ronan also beating Seba, both from El Paso, and then we had Spritzy beating Nationwide for the winners finals matchup of Spritzy versus Ronan Rose. So we'll kind of go into that in a second because there's a little more to talk about. One person that has been improving a lot as well as Alighieri, getting all the way to 25th. It's not too bad. Worm, I don't know who 2K100 is, going game 3. Architect beating Mars pretty big. Let's see.
Wait, Architect beat Mar?
Yeah.
That's great.
3-0.
Yeah, that's a great win. Oh my god.
Like, Architect placed top 3 recently
Yeah.
at
Should have
a
texted.
Lubbock tourney.
Yeah.
It was
Mars
crazy.
a PT, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Good player.
So he's beating 2 PTs because he beat Vibe. So maybe he just has a grasp on the
Maybe,
matchup for one.
maybe Architect's just the PT master, dude.
And maybe it's a good matchup for Wii Fit.
Wii
Better than
Fit.
people think.
Wii Fit's a sleeper. But it's a little late in the game, and when you can play Steve, you might as well not play Wii Fit.
The thing about Wii Fit is like, I think it's like a hard matchup check for like a lot of people. Like, there's so many
gotta know.
unexpected aspects of that character. Like, why does this hitbox go behind them? Or like, that buries me. Why does it bury me? Or when does the ball bounce like this versus that? Like, it's just
And
like,
how do I handle deep breathing?
yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things. Diddy has this fact too that with Banana, no one can use a Banana better than Diddy player, and no one knows the Wii Fit's hitbox is better than the Wii Fit. So they have setups and they have stuff you don't see coming unless you just super grind the matchups. But who really grinds the Wii Fit matchup that hard? It's kind of a you better get ready for if it's in bracket. You gotta kind of learn on the spot.
Then we get into top 8. We add a Lubbock matchup and an El Paso matchup. Trey taking a game off Vibe, and I think this is the second time Trey's taken a game off Vibe recently.
I think Trey is reaching the cusp of like
That plateau, like it's like at the
Yeah.
edge, and he's about to take that step.
yeah.
And I'm excited to see it. I think Link's actually fun to watch. I hate fighting Link
Yeah,
because
it's very
there is a
annoying.
problem, but I actually like fighting Link. So I'm excited to see if Trey can do it because I know he's took a game off Nationwide at the last Sunday school.
Yeah.
He's now taking a game off Vibe. I mean, it's still game 5, or best of 5 set, so he didn't get the game 5 part, but you're close. And I don't know if y'all have ever played Vibe. That man got some buttons. And if you're losing, it feels horrible. He beat me in about 3 minutes. And I'm not bad, all right? Like, I'm really not bad, but destroyed
Yeah,
me. And then Gelada beating G-Dog.
I always tell my players, hey, if you can win a game, you can win a set. So I think we're going to see Trey do some good stuff soon, even if he can't always go crazy in these crew battles. So
And we'll see, another El Paso team kill and a Lubbock team kill. I don't know how the back ended up like this.
I
it
mean,
did.
it just happens.
Real quick,
And
before we move on, what would y'all rank the links in order? Quick.
I'm a Link believer. Toon Link, Young Link.
You think Young Link's the worst?
I think Young Link's the worst. No, hold on. Switch Toon Link and Young Link because I'm a believer in Toon Link, but Young Link arrows are crazy.
So you think Link's the best?
I have thought Link's the best for a while.
That's crazy.
I think it's Young Link and then Toon Link and then Link.
That's my order too. That's my exact order. Young Link,
Link is
Toon
so
Link,
crazy.
Link is the
I
last.
think all of them are getting better though. Like I
They're
think
all solid
in
for sure.
2023 meta, I think all 3 characters are getting better.
You have good frame data with Link, right? Outside of his hard hitting moves, but look at other characters. A lot of the hard hitting characters, like Pyra, she has bad frame data, but she's still really good. Then you have great defensive game and a bomb that you can recatch and use like Banana. I don't know.
Okay,
I think the characters
don't put bomb and banana in the same sentence. That's
No,
ridiculous.
okay, I know. Yeah, I know. Banana is one of the craziest moves ever in Smash Bros.
Yes.
But bomb's unexplored. All right.
Okay, it's
And
not.
bad players play Link.
People have been playing Link for 25
Unexplored.
years. It's not.
Yeah, but Link
unexplored.
sucked. Link sucked in the past games. If T came top 3 Civil War with Smash 4 Link, imagine if that guy played actual Ultimate. And I'm assuming T was on the I got a job and became an adult.
No,
or
you know
the
what happened? He's like,
program
hey,
group.
this character sucks. I'm not going to play it. That's what he
That's
said.
not what happened. The character's crazy. Just wait, Trey. Prove him wrong. All right. Oh wait, don't say that. Don't say that. He said T played old. No.
Yep.
Top it. He did. Yeah, but that was the
Anyways.
beginning of the game.
Back on topic. Good stuff, Trey. We see you making moves. Keep it up.
Yep. He got like 25th on the first. Really? Oh, cool. Okay, so Seba and Jaleda. Seba, of course, going on. We know Seba is one of the top 2,
It
3
sucks
players.
to get El Paso at this event, and then top 8 is like all these El Paso games like back to back. That's
Yes.
and like it's hard to like think about it that far down the line, and like think, oh, they're gonna get there. But it's just like you get to see them so infrequently. It sucks that they all have to play each other back.
Play
to
each
back.
other.
Yeah.
And then we got our normal matchup, Nationwide and Vibe. Vibe has Nationwide's number. I think he's won like 5 straight sets. Not even joking.
I think it's hard for Oscar
Squirtle's
to
hard.
win that. Squirtle's a messed up character, and then like I don't think either of Oscar's characters can really get there against PT. Especially like I don't think the Sephiroth's the right call. I've never loved the Sephiroth. I think Oscar Sephiroth's very cool. I think if he's going to pick up a secondary, though, it should probably be something that fares a bit better
Rob.
into his local meta. Because, like, who are you picking up Sephiroth for, really? You know, you beat Lima with Bowser Jr. It's not a Bowser Jr. issue.
Yeah,
it's like
Cloud is the best secondary in the game outside of Wolf. And quite honestly, just
I
pick up
think
Steve.
Oscar Cloud would go.
He needs to play Rob.
Crazy.
That's what he needs to do. It's his sole character. He just doesn't want to be a Rob player. Everybody knows it. That Rob is nuts. Game & Watch, that's also a good option. Is one of the best secondaries ever.
He's
God,
good. He's
Oscar
been complaining
Game & Watch
about.
sounds so annoying, dude.
Oh, God.
Oscar's been complaining about small characters for a really long time. I know when I play him against Diddy, he struggles really hard against me with a lot of crouching and a lot of down tilting, and he just can't hit me with Seth or with Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's probably a lot of the same one with the Squirtle, and then
Yeah.
Vibe's punish game is just crazy. So if
That,
you
yeah,
pick up on Oscar,
Vibe Ivysaur has.
pick up on one Oscar habit plus the Squirtle, and it's probably it's just that's the 5
Plus-
straight. It's a wrap.
And like Vibe is such like a momentum player, I feel too. And the big issue in West Texas is he never loses momentum. So, it's like, how do you stop him?
He is.
Until he hits Spritzy, and then it's like, oh.
It's different.
Yeah.
But they won last time. Then this is where the bracket got a little crazy for most people, right? They took an hour and a half break before top 4 to stream
Boo.
COD. To me, now I understand stream schedules. Sometimes like that happens. You gotta advertise that and tell them, "Hey guys, we are taking a break to stream COD. Go get food. We'll be back." I hate middle of top 8 breaks personally. Like if you're going to do a break, do it before top 8, so then you can just instantly run through because there's momentum here. Seba beating Jaleda because you usually do your losers quarters and then you go up to winners finals, right? I don't believe they did that. I believe winners finals had to wait more than an hour and a half because they did losers semis first, if I recall correctly. Can't do that. It's simply put, you just can't do that. That's just poor planning, and I know they had a lot of events going on. They needed COD on the stream because they were one of the major events, and I think they had the biggest prize pool. But even then, I don't even say not having 2 streams. It's just you got to really understand your stuff. Not
Or like at the very least, people need to know it's gonna happen. Like that's where a lot of the frustration comes in for me. It's like if you're going to do that, make sure that your players know about it. Like, because that's what it felt like. People just didn't know that was going to happen.
Yep.
So.
And when I was asking, people were like, "I don't know what's going on." I'm like, "What do you mean? Go ask." Yeah. They're like, "We couldn't get information." And even Scotty, who was helping run it, essentially was like, "This is news to me."
Yeah.
So you have that. Players frustrated. I mean, like back in the day, and Noah can attest, and I think maybe Grayson too. People would just split the pot and leave.
That's what I said that in Lubbock chat.
Like this.
I
why not this?
Said just split the pot and leave, dude.
And it was like there's like no point in waiting.
Yeah.
So then you have it's essentially a separate tournament, and now you got Ronan Rose said it was very like not warmed up, and now you have the choice, right? Okay, I have an hour, and they didn't know how much time. They didn't say, but you got an hour and a half, right? Go for an hour, come back 30 minutes before warm up. But they didn't really know, so you can't really warm up. Gets 3-0, so it was out of stuff. I didn't get to watch the set, but I don't know. 3-0's not very good, right? Then you go into losers, Vibe wins, and then Vibe reverse 3-0'd Ronan, from what I heard. So top 3 place for Ronan Rose. I believe this is the first offline tournament in a very long time. So good job to them. And then you go to Grants, and Spritzy makes very clean work. It was not close. And yeah, I hate the long break personally, just because.
If I'm competing, it would drive me crazy because.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, you finish.
Just the mid, like top 4 break. Once you start top 8, you should go all the way through. I think as a competitor, there's so much to say about momentum. I mean, some people handle momentum differently than other players. But if you're playing hot and you're playing in the moment and then you have to take an hour break, that's when the people are like, oh, I don't even want to come back, or let's just split the pot, whatever. It's just, I feel for Rose, and it might not have mattered anyways because Spritzy's so good and probably Tink beats Bayo because projectiles. But it'd be discouraging for sure as a competitor.
Yeah, what I was just gonna say too, but like imagine how different it is for your mental if there's a schedule that a week before where it says we're playing top 32 to top 4 from like 3 to 6, from 6 to 7 we're doing COD finals, and then we're streaming top 4. Like as long as you know going into that,
it's different.
It's so different. It's so different.
Yep, I agree. It's better for sure.
Yeah.
So
I'm
planning.
I'm definitely not saying it's correct. It's not correct, but it's better.
But yeah, knowing what's coming up. So when you're planning an event, anybody, just make sure you communicate. That's simple form in anything you do in life. If you communicate with people, there's a lot more stuff's able to happen, right? So we'll kind of move on from this. Go into this tweet real quick. TK was there and said, West Texas is that Texas that everyone thinks about when they say Texas, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, he's right.
I was like thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, like you go in, like Midland does look like one of those old movie towns. Like you could see somebody riding a horse through it and everything.
Hey,
hopefully he enjoyed his time.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's funny because like I took Beasley to like whatever it was, frame 6 or 7 or 8 or something. Abilene, Texas. It's at ACU. I took him and Shigura, and he was like, no, I feel like I need you to walk me around everywhere, like just to be safe.
Well, Abilene, low key.
So it's like, hey, TK is not the first person to show up to a West Texas event and think that. Like
Tiani says in chat, he's like, some weeks he didn't realize they were actually real.
Yeah, they're real, dude.
So I've seen some big ones.
Driving to Lubbock, I had to like swerve like the lane.
There's some big ones out here, dude. There's some big ones. So So I thought that was kind of funny. We are at a halfway point in West Texas. We are we're aiming for an hour for this show. We might go a little over because it's the first one, and we do have some questions at the end. But we talked this week about what the PR is at the halfway point, and Vibe did make a little PowerPoint that I was going to go through with you guys.
Yeah,
and see
I'm surprised he knows
out.
how to use Power.
That's what I mean, it's all gray, so we'll see. And he changed it recently because he had me at number 10 for a little bit, and then he took me out.
He had
a battle.
He took you out?
He did. He took me out. So here we are. Let's see if this works. So I'm not going to go too much detail. You can click it in Discord. He posted it in the non-PR channel, but he just wanted to have 10 players to kind of talk about it. Here's some honorable mentions: Newport and Ronan Rose, both little attendants. Bam, Cannons doesn't exist in West Texas, I don't believe. Bam never travels, so you might as well not even put him on there. And we're not even talking about that last person. So, boom. Number 10, he has Trey,
Yeah,
which I think is awesome. Earned. Good spot. 7th at Battle Bowl. And then worst loss looking like Sheer Cold. Not bad, because Sheer Cold's not a bad player. And probably should be in the honorable mentions, but moving on. You have Lisp at number 9. Person is severely handicapped because in our city we banned Steve, thank God. But anywhere he travels, he's doing pretty good. He did place first at the most recent Should Tech, and that was his first offline tourney win. And you guys know, I don't know if you won a tournament. I know Grayson has. Once you win the first one, it starts rolling because now you know what it takes. You got that first one under your belt, and so I wouldn't be shocked if List starts going off. But 2 losses Karate Hottie in a matchup that is very favorable for you is interesting to me.
It's not interesting to me, but we can continue.
Okay. Next we have G-Dog, which shockingly is this high. I think G-Dog is that good of a player, but I haven't really seen much. Consistently 7th, I guess. You can't really argue against that. And losing to Blink is quite interesting. But outside of that, good player. Game Watch is very good. You have Magic Trumpet Man that goes everywhere.
I think I might put MTM higher, but I don't remember who Vibe has up above him. I feel like anytime MTM travels, he does very well. Yep. I guess he didn't make top 8 at Battle Bowl, did he?
Nope.
Maybe not.
He did not.
Maybe not.
So, Jaleda's 8. This guy is very good. Somehow I got a set win on him. I played him at Medessa, and he destroyed me.
Mm-hmm.
Be quite frank. I was hitting some up air bridges, which is always a feel good for me.
Mm-hmm.
But, losing the Lisp, or got a win on Lisp, loses only to good players. So, hard to say. This is surprising to me. With Oscar being this low, this has been an off season. I know stuff has been going on in his real life. Has not been playing as much, but this was very interesting to see. What are y'all's thoughts on this?
Real quick,
I don't think it's as interesting when you see the who's above him. But
yeah, well, the person above him is Saba, right?
I don't know yet. Boom. Yes.
And Oscar has a win on Saba, so he's up in the head-to-head, right? Because I don't see Oscar's name on Saba's slide point. So that means he hasn't beaten Oscar, but Oscar's beaten him. And I value head-to-head quite a bit, especially if they're right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something I noticed when I was looking at it before kind of the show, but
I think when he was looking at it, it's the wins. Because, you look at Oscar's wins, right? He does have a win on Seba. He has a win on G-Dog, which is on the list. And then you have Trey. So right now, everyone's below him. You're not seeing any big wins above. Whereas this, you have he has 2 wins on Vibe. Seba does. He has a win on Newport, which we all know is good. So maybe it's the wins. And 5 losses on Vibe, whereas Seba has beaten Vibe on a like opponent. So they're very close, though. Seba is a good player.
Shout out to Vibe, too, for these, really cool JPEG pictures of the characters that he put.
Yes.
I think that's great. I think it's very cute.
It's awesome, Vibe.
Yeah.
If you're in here, good job. Then we got Vibe, which I disagree with, but I think the person above him should not be. But, your only losses are to players that are really, really good. You have beaten a lot of really good players as well, and consistently 1-2 regionals, or you can't count Sunday School as a regional because whatever their rules are. But very good player. And then second, you got Rel. I personally don't. I wouldn't put Rel above.
What's their head-to-head this season? I feel like it's in Rel's favor, but I could be wrong. I think it might be.
If it is, then clearly my opinion changes.
But
I
think Rel has worse losses than Vibe does.
So you have 3 losses to MTM?
2 wins on Spritzy is huge. Does Vibe have any Spritzy wins?
That's true.
3. Or no. 1. Those
Really?
are 4.
3 Spritzy wins. Yeah.
2. He has 2 wins.
1. He has 2. And how many does Vibe? And how many does Rel have?
1.
No,
So-
didn't we watch Rel reset the bracket on Spritzy, or is that not this season?
I don't know if that was this season.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't this season. That was
Wasn't that Hyper Beam? That was the season.
no, it was an Emerald tournament, but it was before the season. So But now, Rel has figured out the game again.
No, yeah, Rels look so good. Rels looked really good.
So I'm excited to see where Rel goes. I know Rel has some real life stuff also happening, so I'm sure the playing time is going to stop to do real life. But this guy's good. He's old. How he's still playing? Eagles suck. If you're watching Rel in the future, but we all know who number 1 is. Spritzy. This guy is very good. I have not seen a player be like this dominant since Thirsty.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was like maybe it's a matchup thing, but the more I watch, it's just like he's just better. Got 5th at Hyper Beam, beating Skeleton, beating Cannon Red. Cannon Red is a very good player. Seba beating Rel twice.
I think Spritzy's more dominant than Thirsty was as far as the West
I do
Texas
too.
region.
I do too.
Thirsty was dominant over Lubbock for sure, but Spritzy's dominant over the West Texas consistently.
And I think Spritzy could be like potentially top 15 in the state, personally.
Oh, I don't even think it's like a question.
And I think a lot of people should be scared of this guy. He did place, I think, 65th at Collision, if I recall correctly, and that was a very large tournament. And 5th at Hyper Beam, too, which was also very big. So, and he's an awesome dude. That's one thing. Like, he's not one of those cocky players. I constantly see him helping his LCU people, and it's in a positive manner, and I think that's something that we have not had in our region. Like, a approachable top player. And I mean that very nicely. Some of our, Smashers aren't necessarily the most social. Some people aren't very good at being approachable, and I think Spritzy is a very good representative of the scene, personally.
Yeah. I gained a lot of respect for Spritzy before they were playing UTD. I said, I messaged Beastly. I was like, hey, who do you have? Do you have Spritzy or do you have Skits? Like 3 stocks apiece, who do you have? And he's like, I think I take Spritzy. And like, Skits is a
good player,
dude. And like, it's a player that Beastly like struggles to beat. Like Skits is gives Beastly a really hard time. And so for him to just straight up say,
tweet.
yeah. If you follow him on Twitter, you know he does not like that matchup. So, like for him to just straight up say, yeah, I think Spritzy just has it. Like, I was like, oh, well, this guy's the real deal.
And I
Wario beats
believe,
Diddy, by the way, and I've said that for years.
I
As
believe
someone who
it.
plays both, Wario
I
beats
believe
Diddy.
I believe it.
and like I do believe Spritzy, Nationwide, and Vibe are all going to Rise and Grind and LTC.
I hope they enter Cruise so we can beat them.
No, you think y'all's UTA crew could beat Lubbock?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Are you sure? Because
I don't think it's. I don't even think it's close.
Chat, we'll talk about this. It's close.
No, it's not close. Beastly
Did
3
Vibe almost beat Beastly?
What? The last time Beastly has played either of them, it's been a 3-0.
Did he 3-0 Vibe?
Yeah. That same tournament that he went to Game 5 with Vibe. He 3-0'd him in Grands.
He ran out of gas.
3-2 in Winners Finals.
Ran out of gas.
3-0 in Grands.
You think your team can beat Vibe? Okay, here's Vibe, Spritzy, Nationwide, Yellow Rello,
Yeah.
Ronin.
Yeah.
That's a tough team. What's the UTA team?
Beastly.
Beastly. Atomic.
Okay.
Kyle.
Who the hell's Kyle?
You don't know Kyle? He has a godlike video made after him, dude.
Really?
Yeah. He's a
Shut up about New Mexico.
Crom player.
Okay.
And then Memphis, the Peach.
Yeah, that's a good player.
And then our 5th is either Davey or Peach Fuzz. Both who, like...
I think it's close.
I think it's close, but, like, Peach Fuzz has gone to Game 5 with Oscar. Like, he's gone to Game 5 with Rel. Like, and he's statistically the weakest player on the lineup. Memphis outplays Spritzy at SmashCon, and they were in the same pool.
Ooh. I heard Spritzy did not play well. Like, stuff was going down. I think it was, like, control or something.
So,
But
I don't
that's
know anything
true.
about that, which, like, could be the case. I was actually looking forward to seeing them play, but Spritzy lost to the Yoshi player, who then Memphis beat, by the way. So,
No, maybe Memphis. If Steph's positive on Kyle.
Oscar said, respectfully, we would mop.
I think we might need to make this happen.
I'm happy to put y'all through the ringer, but I don't think it's close.
If y'all need a scrim practice.
No, we don't scrim scrubs, so
Okay.
this is how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you
West
played
Texas, you hear that? You hear that? We might need to make this happen at LTC or Rise and Grind.
I'm not hating. I'm not a hater. Okay, if anybody's a West Texas hater, it's not me. Okay, first of all, I want to make that very clear. If I was a West Texas hater, I would not be sitting here right now.
That's true. That is very true.
This
He
guy's
does not have to do it.
Second
I think
of all,
nationwide vibe and spritz would easy diff your team. That is not true at all. You must not know Beastly.
That's true. Beastly and Atomic are both top. What's it called?
Beastly's
Probably 5.
hey,
top 10,
you know Rewired Fest, the tournament in Arkansas with like a $30,000 prize pool with like
No.
Light and Gluto and MK Leo.
Oh yeah.
That one. Guess what seed Beastly and Atomic are?
What?
10, 10 and 11. They're just better than y'all. They just are.
That they are better. But
And
I know
and
Rel.
guess what? The 3 backing them up aren't worse. So,
Well, Davey.
hey, bro, Davy Steve goes crazy, bro.
Is Davey not playing Pyramith no more?
Well, he play University of Houston,
Okay.
Nico's team.
Okay.
Davy 11 stalks them with Steve,
Well,
including Nico Cloud.
This dude's
Well-
a Pyramithra Steve, man. What a degen.
So
what a pick a top tier.
he
Yeah.
plays Game and Watch
He-
too. So
Oh, even
Oh
better.
my god.
Even
I would
better.
never. Remind me
and
never to
guess
meet
what?
Davey.
Guess what? Even beyond that, the character pockets between all of my players' characters is so much deeper than that West Texas roster. So
Well, they've never
like,
fought Toon Link, so
They have. Again, Beastly 3-0'd Spritzy last time they played. So they have played Toon Link.
did they really?
Spritzy could get 2
Hyper
stocks, though. 3-0 is different than a crew battle. If Spritzy could get 2 off Beastly, that's huge.
Yeah, he can get 2, but he can't win.
We might need to make this happen.
Make it happen. I'd love to watch.
Oh, I would love to watch too. That'd be the heart. They are 1-1.
Ask-
Oh,
Oscar said, ask Beastly about our last mains money matches.
matches. I think we. I
I guess
I think
Oscar
you might
was
I'm about to
likely-
just like quote you saying that, like Twitch clip that, and just post it every time. But okay, so we've reached the point of the show. We're getting towards the end, and this is the main things I want to talk about. I mean, MK Leo won. That's as deep as I'll go into that. So shout out to MK Leo.
If you're shocked or you thought Leo was done, then you are Chuck and you are an idiot. Because I've been saying
Whoa,
Leo is
whoa,
not-
whoa! I didn't.
You texted me
I
like
don't-
3 months ago that Leo was washed and he'll never win another tournament again.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
pretend
because
like you
that's how Chuck thinks about himself.
I know.
And so he projects it onto other players.
Listen,
which
It's
is
crazy.
absurd.
Leo's,
I think-
Leo's still top
ridiculous.
5 and he will be top 5.
he's not even top 5. He's 7.
He will be. He will be.
His
Like,
characters
Next major.
do not fit.
No, yeah,
Joker
his characters are
is,
bad in 2023.
like-
yeah, I do agree with that.
Joker just can't do it now, and his cheese isn't cheese enough. Incineroar got better cheese,
I still
so
believe in Joker. Maybe I'm in a minority here, but I still believe in Joker.
I think Joker's a very, very good character. I do not think he is good into the characters that are the best in Ultimate.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, his best character in this current meta is Corrin. I agree, and I think Byleth actually is pretty good in this meta, but he just doesn't want to play it anymore.
I love how he won a whole tournament with Torn and never touched her again.
I know.
He's like, I'm good, actually. That was enough.
character. I am a Corrin believer,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we're gonna put it to chat now. We do have some questions. I did write down one earlier from Invader, if Invader's still in here, and I thought it was very interesting. It said, "Is it worth it to be in West Texas?" And I thought that
Depends on
that's
what you mean, you know, because
Like-
I don't know. It depends on what you mean.
And I always tell people that. I tell Oscar this a lot because me and Oscar talk Smash. I'm not necessarily his coach. I used to coach him a little bit, but I would always say, if you want to be good in West Texas, and I'm talking not just West Texas, but I'm talking like start to get good living in this place, you have to play Wi-Fi. If you choose to not play Wi-Fi, you are not doing yourself a service. Honestly, at any point in the game.
Oh, I mean, is it worth for Mutace to travel here? No.
Oh, absolutely not. This is free money, and you're walking away. Granted, no,
I
was
think
gonna
we
say
talked
4%.
about it a little bit. It's not even that much money, like at the end of the day, because of how the tournament was set up.
So, well then, to rephrase the question, no, I don't think it was worth it. In regards to Mutace traveling or almost any player, you have to really incentivize with gas. Someone in this call made a great video regarding what you can do with
Smart
Pop
guy.
Ups money.
Smart.
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty like.
Real quick, kind of on subject to what you were just talking about. I think being a really good player in Lubbock gets you complacent. and it makes you think that you're actually really, really good at the game, and then you go somewhere else and you're not.
Yep.
So it is it worth it? I think it's if once you hit the peak of West Texas or the peak of Lubbock, I think it's very important that you travel to either DFW weeklies if you can or majors if you can, just to gives you that kind of wake up call, that reality, like man, I might be good in West Texas, but there's a whole
grand
another
scheme.
world out there.
Dude, I always think about the timeline where Oscar gets a game off MK Leo at LTC, dude. I always think about it.
I played Void at Evo, right, in Smash 4, and I was up a stock, or almost a stock. I was up 100% to 0 to start the match, and then he destroyed me, right? But that changed me as a player forever, because that was my first Pikachu tournament, and then I play Pikachu literally throughout. I'm wearing a Pikachu shirt right now. Like, having that one win can change everything, and it boosts Oscar's brand. I mean, even beating Lima, some people still know him for beating Lima at a local. You know,
That's
but
why
I always tell people,
not a lot of people can do that. I mean,
especially in that matchup.
credit
That
credit
match
where
was
it's
horrible.
due.
And like I always tell people, like play online, play in an online tournament. If you can play in Coinbox every single week, play in Coinbox every single week. Like doing well in that is going to help you. And then if you're winning a lot in West Texas, I used to do this all the time. Save some of your winnings, especially with all the pop bonuses we have, and use it to go to a major. It's not hard. Take out $20 per tournament, put it aside. You signed up for the tournament. Good job. But, you know, we're smashers and we don't know how to handle money or any of that stuff. And not only that, if you have a sponsor, there's no excuse. There are people sponsored in this chat. Yes, I'm calling you out specifically and not using that to your advantage. So let's see how that goes. Next question. How would I go about making the environment have more camaraderie between players? Smash Fest. It's a lost art.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. Like, so we have our facility open like 24/7, and it's just both our A and B team, and they're always playing friendlies against one each other. And it's not even just singles too. It's not just rotations. It's doubles. It's randoms. It's smash balls on. Like,
I will say, once you make the environment a tournament, once there's a bracket, there is no camaraderie anymore. Everyone's there to compete and they're there to win.
and that's how
So
it
you
should be.
can't have a bracket. That's how it should be. I agree. I'm a competitor. If there's a bracket, I want to win it. So to make that not happen and to get friends like me and Chuck made lifelong friends meeting in Smash,
Yep.
it needs to be a Smash Fest either at someone's house or at the school and play doubles for fun, turn items on, try some different stages, play different characters. But if you put a bracket in there, don't be mad about the camaraderie because I'm not your friend if there's a bracket.
Yeah, and I think just
And-
opening up like the space to where people feel comfortable like asking for help in matchups or with their character or with, tech or anything like that. It can be pretty unapproachable like when people are focused or at a bracket. Like I've never ever blamed Leffen for being like, "Hey, I'm competing, do not come up to me and ask for pictures." Like I get it. Like he's there to win. But if I'm, chilling at my boy's house and somebody comes up and
Yeah.
asks me for help in a match, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. Why not? Yeah, it's great.
Like
And
I
so-
think,
yeah.
like my favorite moments when I've played in Smash have been a like old school Smash Fest that we used to have, and it's like that's where me and Grayson became friends. And I can attest, me and Grayson, we talk every day of our lives. I'm not even joking. To the point to where both of our wives make jokes about when the other person texts each other. Okay, and when I play him in tournament, he does not talk to me. I am laughing. I am having fun. He doesn't look at me. He don't care. He's trying to beat me. Okay? But when we're just playing for fun, we're talking smack to each other the whole time. We're talking about matchups. He'll help me. We'll sit down and walk through things. It's like, you got to remember, like, this game was built because we all love the game. We love being around each other. When you have tournaments all the time and there's never a time where you're just like, let's just play. Let's get to know each other. Like that's when you get to know people. That's when you go out to eat after stuff. Because if I lose in a tournament, game 5, and Oscar's like, hey, do you want to go eat? I'm like, no, dude, you just beat me. I'm kind of mad. Or like if I'm super close,
Well,
like
you
Grayson
need to
beat me.
get over it.
Stop it. I'm mad. But it's like, it's simple. You really need to go and just hang out. Like, it's okay if you guys just talk to each other. It's okay. Like, in old school days, we used to watch Twitch streams. We used to watch tournaments in here. We watched Nintendo Directs together in here. We played other games, Mario Kart. And I know we getting canes after. Well, Oscar, you're a little exception, okay? Because
I mean, my favorite part of running locals a lot of the time was when they were over and I got to go hang out with people after the fact. It's like, it's just how it is.
Like just playing the game together. I mean, you get to know others. Like some players, like for people who didn't get to play top players, like I'll use Dan example, who just chatted in chat. So tell our friends we joined. Dan used to beat me all the time, and then the only time I'd get to play him would be at these Smash Fests. Like if we're playing something, if I played him in tourney, like I'm probably not making it as far as him back in the old days when he had Hoo Ha to carry his ass. But it is what it is. I think we should focus on, like, Smash Club would never do it, and partially Oscar's fault because he always wanted to have tournaments. But it's like we used to have one tournament a month for Lubbock, and I mean this is old school when tournaments weren't as common. But then every other week we did Smash Fest. We went up, we literally played Smash from 6 o'clock to 11, and it was nonstop.
And nobody wanted to leave at 11.
That's how ACU was too.
No one ever wanted to leave at 11,
Yep.
and you just gotta play. So I don't know if I think that culture died
Yeah.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
But
I
we
think
used to
that
have
hurt a lot.
like we used to go Smash the Sauces. We used to play at Mega Dance all the time, and I'm talking we had 10 people in Mega Dance house playing. Yeah, it was. We used to play a fun game. I don't know if you consider Smash 4 fun, but that's when our scene got really close, and that's when you traveled. Like we organized. Oh, we're traveling this tournament. Who wants to ride in my carpool? And it's like a lot easier because you got to know the people.
Yeah.
And then you travel to majors. Every LTC used to be that major where everybody in West Texas used to go to. And it was
Well, how
a lot of
about
fun.
LTC and DFW coming up this
Thank
December? So
God, I don't know why they ever left. I thought Low Tide was a horrible idea, but that's me. It's nice to see it back. I'm actually considering going.
I mean, it's
if
at
I got
Esports Stadium Arlington. It's 10 minutes from UTA. So,
Oh, is it really? And that's close to Grayson's house. Grayson, hold up!
and
Ducks.
one thing I did want to end on too is like, you're not playing the game for money. I know most of you don't care about making PR, so all that's really left is to have a good time. So put yourself in positions to where you are able to do that, and
I
like
would
that could be
love
through
Smash Fest.
competing or through Smash Fest or whatever it is. But like, unless you're on scholarship, then you should be getting better all the time.
Yeah, that's different.
So that's a little bit. But then you always have people to practice with.
So I think if they can bring back Smash Fest, I think it would be a lot of fun. I would love to go to some Smash Fest personally, and I don't even play the game competitively. I know I'm good enough to help people practice, but yeah, no, I think hopefully I'm going to try to push people to go to LTC specifically. I don't know how many more LTCs there are going to be, but we'll see. Smash Fest need to happen. I thought about trying to do some at my place, but I also now I'm married, so it's a little different when you're hosting stuff at your own place. So it is what it is. All right, we're going to do one more question because we already hit the hour mark.
Anyway, before we do the last question, I want
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
address something that Kane said, which I shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it. He said that Sunday school should not count for West
Oh,
Texas
that's a good
PR.
one, yeah.
I'm going to say Kane's wrong. He says that it gives an excessive amount of monthlies to Lubbock, which it doesn't, because that's not how it works. And it kicks Lisp out of West Texas PR, which it doesn't. So he's wrong on all three of his points. And that's just how it is. If you want to know how the PR actually works, feel free to rewatch my video about it. You're more than welcome to pause, put it at 0.75 speed, so maybe you can understand it a little bit better. Make an all A's, but you can clearly not comprehend these topics when they're presented to you in such a deliverable format. I mean, just pay attention. Anyway, okay, you can proceed to the last question.
So the last question is going to be, did Kane survive? That right there. Put it in the chat below. No, just kidding. So final thing we're going to go over. I don't know why I rolled my sleeves up, acting like light over here. So Oscar asked, is this the strongest West Texas / Lubbock has ever been?
Yes, and it's not close.
I would say
not close.
It's so like the middle back in the day, and Grayson played when it was back in the day, right? You had your like top 5 players, and outside of that, it really wasn't necessarily hard to reach that point. Every tournament, like especially like in Lubbock, once Grayson stopped playing as much, top 2 was me and Sergio. That was it. Every tournament, literally, and I promise you, every single tournament of that season that me and Sergio attended, it was us and Grants. You're never going to get that here, I don't think. I know right now we've had a lot of vibes Spritzy, but if everybody's in attendance, you have Rel who can take a tournament. You have Spritzy who's very good. Vibe, Nationwide, Ronan Rose. Like that's just those players. You don't even Seba. You don't count Newport, who Newport is one of the best players.
I think Newport might be the best player in West Texas.
Like
Maybe a
crazy
hot
good
take.
player.
I would love to watch him versus Spritzy. I think that's kind of the argument. I don't know if we'll ever get to see it, unfortunately, unless Spritzy travels to El Paso, which I don't know the logistics on that, whether that's possible soon or anything like that. That's my like. I
I will
think
say,
the matchup
just
for number one.
I don't disagree. I agree with y'all that it is the strongest it's ever been. I think Thirsty Shig at his peak and
Oh
Oscar at his
yeah.
peak when he was beating those players was also a very strong time.
Grayson being the G, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
Not that Grayson. Not that Grayson.
Chino saying Chuck Grayson, Chino, Oscar, Shig was also strong, but yeah, I do agree. It's not even close to the
Well, I
strongest
mean,
it's ever
you
been
have to
right
think
now.
about it this way: like all the players who were good are still good or better, most likely better. The players who were good and aren't good anymore, some of them are still going to events, and you're seeing these new players, make them retire. You know what I mean? And so it's like I don't know how you can make the argument that old West Texas is better when all the players who are still or who were really good are still really good, and the players who are new are better than the old players ever were. So
And that's okay. Hold up. Not ever. Second.
I mean, ever.
I don't know.
When were you ever better than Spritzy?
Oh, I was talking about these mid-level players
Oh,
saying they're
okay,
better
sure.
than. Okay.
Okay.
I was about to say, hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
we can have a mid off next week if you want. So
God,
anyone would
this
even
is
argue
my
it.
show. Hear me.
Old West
But-
Texas is better. I don't think anyone would make that
Yeah,
argument.
you can't make the case, and even like you look at players that are like mid-level. Like I said, mid-level turn. I never had to worry about a mid-level match, never. But now, like you're going into tournaments, you have to really prepare for a lot of matches. Like Worm is not a bad player, you know what I mean? But he didn't even top 8. I don't know if he's top 8 at a West Texas regional yet, but that's not a bad player.
I think he top 8'd frame 7. He got 7th,
Well,
I think.
But like even then, like Worm's not a bad player. Guru's not a bad player. Like Architect just placed top 3 and beat one of our best players. It's so strong. Like our top 3 is very strong, and then you have our mid level, and I'm going to say like the 11 through 20 range.
Yeah, the pockets are
All
deeper
those-
than they've ever been, for sure.
So it's very fun to watch. It's just can we get the issue with West Texas, and we won't go too deep into this because we are approaching time, is the fact that there's so many tournaments that people don't want to travel. Delta's in chat. Delta has never been to a tournament outside of San Angelo, and I'm going to
Not
call them out
never,
on it.
Not never.
Oh, they've been to Abilene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good job. Hour and a half. So we'll never see San Angelo. They might as well not even be a part of West Texas. Amarillo travels more than a lot of people.
Anybody.
I know Lubbock doesn't travel as much anymore outside of Amarillo. No one likes going to
think
Abilene.
the people that I want to call out, I don't care about the rest of you guys. Abilene does not travel. And
Abilene does not travel. You were right.
They just
They
don't
never
travel.
go anywhere.
Yeah, they never go anywhere. Which is a shame because I think Abilene has some really good players. I think it's ridiculous that 5 of them are on the regional PR and they don't go anywhere. And I understand it. A lot of their top level is either Atsi, who's working, 80 hours a week, or it's, Tobo and Levi, who are full-time college students. They aren't on scholarship. They don't have the school paying for these trips. Like, they're putting a
Well,
lot of
I will
extracurricular
counteract
work
that.
in.
Okay, because I was in band, had a significant other, and was still able to travel. And I played Smash and was still a top 5 player in West Texas.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I wasn't on scholarship or any of that
Uh-huh.
stuff. So it's possible. You just gotta.
I'm not saying it's not.
manage your time.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's much more difficult, and especially when there's people asking you to go to an event every weekend. It's like,
Yeah,
I
that's not
just don't want to do it.
Yeah. See, and like back when we played, it was it was Smashed on site, and you had to go because they planned it for 2 months, and everybody was there, so you had to go.
Yeah.
Hidden bosses, everybody had to go, so you traveled and you had enough time to save up for it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm seeing a lot more questions come in chat about dubs. We can talk about that another time. If you guys have more questions. Oh, last thing. Sorry, we're gonna give it a few more minutes, or I will just say this: feedback. We'll take any sort of feedback. Right now, we kind of put this together last second. We decided Thursday.
As
we're gonna
long as
start
it's
today.
not about the overlay or the artistic direction of the
Yes,
podcast.
because the I do love my little logo right now. There is a person in chat who said they might make a logo, and we'll see if we like the non-ghetto-ness of it. Shout out to Paint. I kind of like it, guys. Like, I'm thinking it's kind of good.
Well,
Real
it's not
quick,
good, but
Anthony.
you can like it.
Answering Chino, I'm down after this to answer your question, and then Chuck, I'm also down to consider LTC if you want to stay with me and look at it further than we looked at it tonight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it might be a play. I would enter singles, but I would not give a singular crap like I did at Rise and Grind. I'll just enter because it's there.
Is this the lineup moving forward? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the lineup. We will. Yes, Chino. Look it up.
I'll be gone some weekends due to work. Like especially in October, I'm going to Rise and Grind. I'm going to Big House, and I'm maybe going to something else that month too. But so maybe they have a guest on when I'm not here. Will it be as good? Obviously not. I mean, it's hard shoes to fill. Like
Kane will probably have a better time.
Okay, well, we're not inviting Kane. Let's be real.
But we would have some guests. We do have some other ideas, and I'm always open. If you guys have things you guys would go ahead and do after dark. I don't know. Sour might be a little much on here.
Sour wilded.
I'm always open to suggestions about things to talk about as well. If you guys have certain things you guys want to talk about. Oh, what's up, Spritzy? And we are going to put this on YouTube. It will be on my channel, so you guys are more than welcome to retweet it, talk about it, go back and watch it and stuff like that. But we're going to try to do this every Sunday. 8 o'clock is what we'll do because hopefully Sunday school is done by then. If it is not, we'll probably kind of watch the end of it on stream. I don't know. We'll decide as we go. But we'll take any sort of feedback. I do like the layout personally, but if you guys have guest speakers you guys want to hear about, different topics you like to hear about, audio stuff, all that stuff, I'm a very open guy. I'm open to criticism. Just don't be a dick. Just literally, be constructive, and we can make it work. We are going to be truthful at all times, though. So we'll do all that. We might have a whole section on just Noah calling somebody out.
Me?
I liked it. I like the Noah rant.
Yeah, it's kind of goated.
He's spitting
I
heat.
know what I'm talking about. All right, guys.
But we're going to go ahead and call it there. I did see some good questions. Remember them for next week, or put it in the YouTube comment, and we'll respond at some point.
It'll probably be an easier way to do it.
Yeah, that way we can kind of get it on there. Next time I should probably put our Twitter handles instead people have them.
Yeah.
I know Grayson has Twitter, but no one knows his Twitter except for me. So I probably won't put that on there.
I really want Noah's opinion if I should stick to Junior or ascend to a different character. I said
Actually, that's the last thing we're talking about.
Well, no, we already talked about it, and I said you should play Cloud.
Oh, see, I'm a Junior believer. I think it's too much. We're at a point in the game, dude. You just gotta stick. But Cloud's top 5, so Grayson's a believer in Bowser Jr. too.
No, I believe in the Bowser Jr. But I really believe in Cloud.
I think we're out of time. I could really go into depth on this, but I'm gonna either save it for next time or
yeah, we'll do that. We'll do
talk to him privately.
That might be the topic. Call the video. Is Oscar worth playing Bowser Jr.?
No.
But with video done.
Yeah, video done.
But all right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I think this went great. We are at 20 viewers, which is a pretty awesome first video. Or first Twitch stream. So make sure you guys tweet it out. Make sure you guys tune in. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I did. Noah, Grayson, I appreciate you guys being on. Is there anybody you guys want to shout out before we head on?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to myself.
Yeah.
I think I was great. I think everything I said really resonated with our viewers. So go me.
Heck yeah, all right.
Shout out to the people on the podcast, Noah and Chuck. Shout out to Chuck for having an audience of people who want to listen to him. I know Chuck's been doing kind of these talks for a little bit. He just put a name on it, but every time he streams, I feel like he's got viewers. So shout out to Chuck. Shout out to Oscar. He's my boy in Lubbock right now. I'm always rooting for Oscar. He's my dark horse. I want him to do great. This is my boy. He's got an uphill battle with Vibe right now, especially kicking his ass, and then Spritzy's a beast.
That's true.
But I do believe in him, and I'll give him a quick shout out for him.
And I'll end it with shouting out you guys. No, but really, I appreciate you guys being here. It does mean a lot. These are really fun things. I love talking the game. These guys love talking the game. And you guys coming in and supporting and interacting. Like, these things don't work if you guys don't interact. So appreciate it. Make sure you guys tell even Kane. Kane being in here, and we appreciate it. And so we want you guys to keep coming back if you guys enjoy it. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, always ask. And keep putting up the good stuff for our tournaments. Make it something fun to listen to. Talk smack to each other. I don't care. Give us something to talk about. But we'll keep it mostly West Texas centered. Sometimes we will talk about big tournaments if there is a big tournament coming up, such as I think there's one this weekend, isn't there? I don't know. But we'll talk about it if we need to. And we'll kind of go from there. We'll take any topics, so just put them our way, and we'll go from there. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end the show. So thank you everybody for watching today. Goodbye.